All right, so okay, let's start. We're talking about how to build your scanner business, but there are a few people here that are not scanner therapists, so I've actually just said how to build your business. It's the same with everything. The implement you're using is scanner. Some of you have other modalities as well, naturopathy, reflexology, kinesiology. You might be doctors, nurses, whatever other area you have. What we're going to be talking about, the agenda I have today or tonight, we're going to look at how to be unique. And the second thing, I'll talk about each of these more fully as we come to the slide. The next one will be the business administration. This is somewhere, some area a lot of people fall down on. And it really is, I know we're creative, I know we're very ethereal, I know we're very compassionate, we're very energetic people. However, the actual practicality of business administration is really important. The next is how to set it up. Then we're going to look at work hours, how to decide what to do, when to do it, and which way. Attracting clients, how we bring them in, how we extend ourselves further, keeping them. You know, you can get someone sometimes to walk through a door, but if you can't get them to keep repeating, they're not a client for you. You've got to have a repeat attendance. Then it's keeping connected with them. Different aspects about how you can make sure you and your name and what you do stays in your clients' memories and thoughts and constant thinking, okay? You have to value yourself above all, and this is something that a lot of practitioners and therapists do not do, and hence collapse. They can't cope, they don't stay, they fall apart, they don't, they just don't value themselves. And then we'll have a question time at the end. So is anything there that we're not sure of? We can move on. Okay, we can move on if I can get to the next slide. There we go. Okay, how to be unique. The first thing to be is creative, and I say be unique and be creative. It's a very wide term and a wide concept. The way in which, and I will come back to me in many ways because of my business background, is be who you are. They have many business strategies, and one of them is called the blue ocean strategy. A lot of people, they will set up a business and they do the red ocean, which means they try to copy everybody else in the area, and you have this feeding frenzy. Be you. You are unique. What you bring to your practitioner as a practitioner is unique. Nobody else is like you. Okay, and that's your benefit. So be creative in who you are. One thing I have noticed also is offer quality service. Regardless of who the person is or who you're servicing or whatever's happening, make the environment a quality environment. A lot of people, and mind you, don't think I don't believe in crystals. I do, and I believe in all of those things, but try not to make your place look like it's had a lot of things all put out. You know, you've got crystals here and things. Make it a more professional area so people, when they come through, notice your professionalism, because you are professionals in what you do, and that goes with any business. If you are a specialist in what you do, you are a professional, so you need to present that forward. That does not mean you still can't be compassionate, loving and caring. Okay, so that's very important. At first, I'm not sure where a lot of you are. I know some of you, but I don't know where all of you are in your business. But if you're starting out, one of the big things I did was to be competitive in my prices, reduce my prices. I tried many aspects. I tried the come three times, get one half price. I did not like that at all. I felt like I was a coffee shop, and I really felt that I had lost my professionalism. You know, I tried to do pamphlets, bring it in, get 10% off, all those kind of 10% off. I felt diminished my professionalism, and I didn't like them. The best thing I found was to reduce prices. I did at the start have a pensioner price, and I did have a normal price. If people came, sometimes if I had, say, a half an hour price, say a half an hour was $50 and they went for 3/4 an hour, I would say, look, we went for 3/4 an hour, but I'm only charging you half an hour. I would make them feel that they had got extra from me, something special that made me stand out, that made them feel they were getting a good quality service for a price they were paying. Okay, so that's a very important. I'm not saying hold it there forever, but you do that at the start. Remember, again, I reiterate, your competition is not relevant to you. There are many things we do. All of us are doing it differently. I know some people work on just sports and injury. Other people work on fertility. Some people work on women's issues. Some people work on, I work on all areas, but my specialty is highly complex cases where I have someone at the moment who has fibromyalgia, cancer, Lyme disease and thyroid disease. Things like that. I work with those people and I love that. So you have to find your forte and where you want to be. So don't worry about what the competition is. When you find out what you want to be and how you want to present yourself in the best way, those people will come into you. Okay, and we'll talk about that later, how to bring them in. Know your market. Know what it is you want out there, who is out there, and how you're going to attract them. Now, a lot of people do. I tried letterbox drops. I didn't find that successful for me. I tried putting pamphlets into newspapers. That wasn't successful to me at all. In the area I live, and everybody's different in their areas, word of mouth was the biggest one. So I got a few clients, very few clients, and I treated them with the greatest respect, you know, really gave them extras, gave them time, text them, looked after them. They then started referring. For me in this area, that is the big area. There are many other ways too, and we'll talk about those when you're talking about attracting clients. Risks and benefits. Look at the risk of just working for nothing. You've got to also understand reducing prices. You still have to earn money, and look at the benefits of that, how it's going to relate to you later. Some of these things that you first start introducing for yourself, the benefits are afterwards, not right away. You've got to stay focused on where you're going. You have to stay focused on that this is your passion, this is what you want to do. It's not part-time. This is not something I'm doing to fill in. This is what I love. So that will come off when you start talking with people. And you do have to make sacrifices. You know, you sometimes have to work a little longer, and we'll talk about that in hours. You sometimes have to just give a bit more than you would, open up a few more times. We'll talk about that in work hours. One of the things I've got here, set goals, make plans, get to work, stick at it, reach the goal. When I first started, I have a son in business in London, and he kept saying to me, Mum, budget, goal plan. What do you want to do in 3 months? What do you want to do in 6 months? What do you want to do in 1 year? And I had no idea, absolutely no idea. I didn't know where I wanted to be in 6 months. I just knew I wanted to work in what I loved. I didn't know where it would take me. Now, some people, that works for them. For me, it didn't. I tried and tried. So remember that you are unique. Your plan, your role, your participation in this business will be different from everybody else's. You have you to bring to it. Okay? That makes you unique. Now, we'll go on. This is the business administration. Boring, I know. It sometimes can get very monotonous. Absolutely crucial. And I'll let you know why some of these things are. With the business administration, it's the organization. Now, it can take a little bit when you first start up. I don't know if any of you are just starting. If any of you are, I can easily send you things like initial forms and how to do filing systems and things like that. Even templates for, every single thing that I sell or have in the clinic has a product information sheet that is done on my product page. I have a product page, and I put the information in this, print it out and give them to them. My view is that everything, knowledge is power, and everybody should be empowered. So that took time setting up. It took time setting up the initial thing and also the interviews. Or money. is recorded on files. So I have files that come in that I write on. I have smaller files that I have at my desk, and when the person goes, I write out how much they spent that day, whether they paid it, how much they've paid. They may have, say, $500, they paid $300, they owe me $2. That will all be recorded. It's not memorized, it's recorded. Now, the reason these things are so important is because I've been caught out, not caught out, but had to go back. I've had people say to me, look, I didn't get my invoices for such and such. Could you please invoice me for the last 5 months? Now, I can go straight to my file card and see when they've come. I don't have to go through a calendar. All right, the other thing is, we'll get back down to keeping the records later. With your procedures, you have to know how you run it. I set up all my files at the beginning of the week. Everybody that's coming is set up in a large file pad with all of their payment files on top. That's all set for me. Now, if I have new clients come in, I fit in new files there. I set their name up, I set a payment card up, and I set a file, a clipboard with an initial form for them to fill out. That is all prepared ahead of time. So, you know, there's a little bit of work to do maybe on a Monday morning to do that, plus my room set up. Very important you have these procedures. You do that, you write it out. I have a rough piece of paper next to me whereby when I'm working with somebody, I will be writing. You know, I did a stomach cross, and I did a this, and I'll write it all down very rough. And then after they've gone, I give myself 5 minutes to write my file up. The files are so important. A lot of people think they can remember it. I had, and this is why I know, one lady I had that I was working with for about 4 years. I'd been working with her. She came to me last year, and that's 2 years ago I'd seen her, and she was having a legal case against her husband who had been beating her. And I had been treating her for that result. Now, she needed my letter about what had happened that had to go to the courts. Now, I have incredibly, very, very detailed files. I'll even say, they said such and such. You know, after the treatment, they commented on this. You know, everything is there. So I was able to go back. So it's very important. These files are there for you. Do not think your memory will hold you. It really won't. The business administration, I think, is the most crucial part of a business being successful. It really is. The procedures you have, particularly if you're a one-person business, then some of the procedures can be moved. You don't necessarily have to do stock control and things like that because you're doing it all the time. But if you have more than one, you have a secretary, you have people like that in the business with you, then it's important everybody knows the way in which you want something done. I even have a little printout that I have when I get my secretary, when I start with the new secretary, and it says, you know, good morning, Coolum Therapy Clinic, Katie speaking, may I help you? And she says it over and over and over exactly how I want it, because that's how I want to be recognized. So these things, once you've set them up, they're easy, but you just need to do it. And the other one is your clinic. It is so important to go into a clinic. Well, for me, I wanted my clinic to look professional. I didn't want it to look like a medical clinic, but I did want it to look professional. So I set it up that way with whites, with clear, my lovely colourful towels. I have structures that have all my equipment on it. My qualifications are on my wall so people can see those. They always look so impressive too when you have lots of qualifications sitting there. And it's set up that way. So when they walk in, their first impression is, oh, this is lovely. I had one lady say to me, oh, this looks a lot like a medical clinic. And I said, what did you think it was going to be like? And she said, oh, you know, bells and, you know, signs and pretty things all over the place. There's nothing wrong with that if that's the way you want to present yourself. For me, it's very much about professionalism. I think it's probably here I should just say I come from an educational background. I have a doctorate in education. So I came from an educational research background. So for me, it was so important that the qualifications I got, and I'm a counsellor, naturopath and reflexologist as well as a scanner therapist, I wanted qualifications that would be professional, because I'm used to educationally professional standard qualifications. So I wanted also people to see that when they came, I knew what I was saying, or I was updating myself constantly. If I didn't know, I would research it, and that I was constantly doing research, conferences, seminars to keep myself at cutting edge. So for me, the way I present myself is that I am, at that top echelon of cutting edge knowledge. And that's why, people come to me with such massive issues. You may decide how you want to. Some people have gone into equine. Some people have gone into horses, animals. That's their forte. That's what you need to look at, where your forte. And if you don't know, we can always talk at another time, and we can see if we can work out which way you want to go, which is the strongest method inside of your professional background. Okay, so the getting organized, if anyone needs help with that, I can actually help. Also, the other thing is Google Calendar. Get familiar with it. Honestly, people use paper calendars, they use phones, etc. Phones are fine, but get your Google Calendar. You can actually color code it. You can see when people are coming. You can see what type of appointment it is. I also keep very, very full lists of extracurricular stuff of my clients, and I'll be talking about that and how to keep clients going. And Google Calendar can do that so easily. Don't leave it to memory. Put things down. If somebody borrows somebody, have a borrowing sheet. Date, who it was, what they took, and return date. It's really important, because you will have stuff going missing and you won't know where it is. So once something happens, put it into a page system. You can have a book. I mean, I have a postal book, the same thing. Date, where it's going, tracking code, it all goes into the post book. All right, so these things are very important. Keep the detailed records. We've talked about the client directory. Make sure that they're very, very detailed, what you're saying. You don't have time sitting in a clinic to do it. That's why I have a rough piece of paper, write it all down very fast. Then I spend 5-10 minutes at the end of the session, or even at the end of, say, 4 or 5 people, and do 4 or 5 of them together. Get them all done, put them away. Okay, mailing register. Another thing that you can do on the internet is to have a list system you can use. If you're not familiar with Excel, I hate it, but I've had to get used to it. They have a great way where you can have all your contacts. If you sell products, you can have there that has, say, a warranty. If you sell Scenars that have a warranty, anything that you need to keep a record of for a client. This is a service you're doing to make their health recovery easier for them. That's how I work. Anything I can do to make it easier for my client, then I do it. I have it down. Don't worry, I've written down when you bought that machine. In 2 years' time, you'll need to do that. I will notify you when you need to replace this, blah, blah, blah. And I have it all in my calendar as when I have to do it. Purchasing items, again, same thing. Keep a record of them. When you purchase something, you can do, again, a product list, and make sure you put your prices in there. Work them out well. What you pay for them. Add your GST. Add your postage. Make sure you are earning from your products if you're selling products. And reminder lists. They are very good if you have, I'm going to talk about those a little bit further with clients, but if you have things that are special to that client, put them again into a Google Calendar so you can remind yourself to contact them, read those things. I'll talk about those more in keeping together with your client. Setting up costs. 95% of small businesses go bankrupt in the first 5 years. We are a small business, most of us are. So what's your costs? One of the, what you have to do first of all when you're setting up your business, or if you're running your business, work out what you need to live on. When I first started my business, I came out of a big clinic, but when I first started, I basically said to the universe, I need 20 people, just 20 people, and I can cover my costs. That's what I needed a week. Well, you know, I do a lot more now. But the fact is, I got the 20. I knew what I had to reach. Okay, so work out what it is you need. If you need 20 people, 20 hours, or you need 20 half hours, just work out what it is you need so you have an idea in your head about how you want to go. The biggest downfall for small businesses, people like ourselves, is getting too much stock. And I made that mistake myself. Far too much stock. You're holding too much that you're not selling. So budget yourself, have the minimum what you need, and upgrade slowly. I had someone come into my clinic the other day. I have an electric bed, and this girl was saying to me that she thought she'd get an electric bed. Maybe she'd be more professional if she had an electric bed. And I said to her, you're not even making money yet. I had a normal massage bed, you know, a proper bed, for the first 4 years of my business until I could afford the electronic bed. So I know it's good for your back and it helps, but go slowly. Take your time. Don't spend too fast. Make the money first and then move on. Okay, the hours. These are very important because in the beginning we tend to be very flexible. We tend to work long hours. We tend to work, you know, 6-7 days a week. I learned very slowly, probably. I wanted to get as many clients. So if somebody said, can you work 8 o'clock? Yeah, sure, I can work 8 o'clock. Can you work at 6 o'clock? Yeah, no problem. I can stay till 6 o'clock. I had one man, but I was doing it 8 o'clock, and he then said, look, I've got a new job. Can you do it 7? And that was when I went, no, sorry, I can't. That was the first no I made. And now I do night, well, I do 2 8 o'clock starts, but normally 9. Then the other thing that taught me, I had a very good client contact me on a Sunday, and she said to me her son had just hurt himself at football. Would I please look after him? Would I please see him? And I thought, well, they're good clients, okay. So I said yes. So I set the whole clinic up, got ready, all the rest of it, and 2 hours later they hadn't arrived. And I contacted her and said, oh, look, you know, are you still coming? She said, oh, no, don't worry about it now. He's fine. That for me was, yeah, that doesn't happen again. There were small learning processes. What I know you have to be flexible at the start, because sometimes when you're first, if you've got, you know, 10, 15, 20 clients, you know, somebody wants to come at 5, somebody wants to come at 9. You do it because otherwise you're sitting there doing nothing. You may as well do it because you're bringing in people and they're going to refer you. But once you get yourself, you know, established, you have to then reduce your hours. You cannot do those hours. You cannot maintain those extensive hours. I work 3 days a week at every second Saturday. And for me, you know, what I wanted out of my business, I wanted to be able to travel 3-4 times a year. I want to be able to reduce my times, and I want to have a great living. And I do. I travel 3-4 times a year, and I work three times a week, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What I do, but when people say, can you fit me in Friday? I'll say, no, sorry, I'm fully booked. Can you do Monday? No, I'm sorry, that's my day. I do my nursing homes and home visits. I don't. But that's what I say, because I want the impression that I am fully booked and hard to get into. Because I want to condense my clients into the hours I want them in. But that came after years of working. All right. And now, yeah, I mean, I have a client tonight, and I contacted and said, you have to be here at 5:30. I have got a webinar at 7 o'clock. And she said to me, oh, it's 5:30. You know, I won't get there in time. I said, okay, well, I don't have another time. You can come Saturday. Oh, I work. It's the only time I have. Oh, okay, I'll come in the lunch hour. It's amazing. If they want to come, they find the time. So, but that took 4 years to get there. It wasn't at the start. So then you need to reduce, you need to condense your hours. If people want to book, you don't have one at 9 o'clock and one at 5, one at 9 o'clock, one at 10. Not one at 9 o'clock and one at 10:30, you've lost half an hour. If you're booking a day, it's 9 o'clock, then they're booked on the hour, 9, 10, 11, 12. That way you can do your hours. 9:30, the same thing. Don't move your bookings around to half hours to hours, because you're losing your time. So just remember that's very important. And you can see that easily on a Google Calendar. Okay, attracting clients. I love my little picture here. Look outside the box. What you think, where you think your clients will come from, you'd be surprised. They don't come from where you think. If you're doing sports, because I know some people are doing sports and sports injury, you would assume they will come from things like, sports people who are injured, but they can also be from people who know people. Talking to someone in a supermarket can actually bring somebody else in. Talk to everybody about what you do. And the biggest thing is to use the correct words. If you say, I know a lot of people, what they do is they have a lot of qualifications, but they bamboozle people with those qualifications. Think about what you do. What I say to people when they ask me what I do, I say I work in pain and health. That's it, pain and health. Because every single human being on this earth has pain of some kind. And they'll go, oh, I've got pain. If you want to work in sports injury or say work pain and injury. That's it. Make it short, make it sweet, and make it general so people can identify with what you're doing. If you go too much into it, it bamboozles them, particularly if they are sick, suffering from any kind of pain. They cannot take the information in. So that's really, really crucial. Show your passion. When you're walking around talking, I went and visited a friend in Bathurst, and she's just starting off as a scanner therapist. She's a reflexologist. And I said to her, come on, we'll go and get some clients for you. Let's go to the markets. She said, oh, no, nobody wants to come. Well, I walked the markets and, oh, this is beautiful. And yeah, my friend, she works here too. What does she do? Oh, she's a scanner therapist. Did you know she works with pain? She's amazing. And they went, oh, really? My husband has pain. Can I have your card? I said to her, have you even talked to these people? Because I know we can be shy. I know, you can be insecure about yourself sometimes. And believe me, I have felt that way. The thing is, think of it this way. You are letting somebody know about something that can change their life. Absolutely change their life. So it is a crime not to let everybody know. I had a lady that was across the road one day. I was outside fixing up something, and she waved at me, and I waved back, and she came over and she said to me, oh, I'm so sorry, I thought you were somebody else. I said, that's fine. She said, oh, so you do this? I said, yes, look, I'm just about to go into a client. I said, I work with pain and health. And she said, oh, I have pain. I said, well, go home. Do you have an internet? She said, yes. I said, look up what I do. If you think it could help, give me a call. Now, she called me back. She was one of my most unpleasant clients. She came in, she was, grumpy and rude and abusive, and she was just horrible. But she was taking 8 painkillers a day, and 2 of those were endone. She was taking 3 sleeping tablets a night. She was going to the pain clinic, and this is what they had done with her. The first thing I said to her was, 1, we need to reduce those slowly. 2, I can work with this. I worked 1 week with her. It made a change, but, she was in such a serious chronic condition. We did the next week, and I said, look, I need to see you twice a week. I know she's a pensioner. I know money's an issue, but I really need to see you twice a week for a couple of weeks. Okay? She came in twice a week. We made a better movement. She's now one of my best clients, and she has no pain, no tablets, and she won't take them. She falls over. She won't take a tablet at all anymore. So you can make a change in someone's life completely, absolutely. So it's a crime not to let everybody know you're there. I mean, how many people have you actually heard say, I've never heard of you. I never knew this existed. It's a crime. Tell them, tell everybody. And you never know who's going to come. I was up the markets the other day. I've known this lady 15 years. And we're just chatting one day, and she said, I've been going to the doctor for a year, I'm worse. Maybe I should see you. I said, yeah, maybe you should. 3 weeks she's been with me. She can't believe the change. That's Scenar. That's what we do. That's what we do. It's amazing. Don't diminish this. We can make an enormous change. So offer that. And when you're talking to people, I do talk to people and offer my support in certain things. I say, look, you could do this, you could do that. You should, if you want to know more, come and see me. And give them my card and leave it with them. It's amazing how later on down the time they will come. And I believe that what we're giving is hope. Scenar gives hope. It can make a change in someone's life. All of you, if you've worked in the business in health of some kind or any other business, but if you're working in business of health, it is the most rewarding thing to actually see somebody thank you and say, thank you, you gave our life back to us. We never knew this was possible. So that is what we have. That is what we have to let people know. It's so important. So every single human being you meet needs to know what you do. Everybody. They need to know what you do. Pain and health. I work, in pain and injury. I work in reducing pain and assisting body movement. Whatever you want, keep it short, keep it simple, but make sure pain's in there. That's the crucial word. Get pain into it, because everybody suffers in pain. And they all think it's a part of life's progression. Oh, I'm 50 now. I should be in pain. Doctor says that, it's normal. I'm 70. Well, I can tell you I'm 60 and I don't have pain. So that's not true. You do not have to have pain because you're 60, 70, 80. So we can help with that. All right, now the keeping the clients is one of the things a lot of people feel probably a little bit more reticent about, a little bit more shy about. I look at it that we have people walking through the door. We are now in charge of their care and recovery. Not them, we are. Take charge of their recovery. They're unwell, they're in pain, they're hurting. Okay, it's up to me now to set out a protocol for them to get them right. Now, some people do a protocol whereby they say, buy 4 treatments, buy 3 treatments, get 4, and that works for some people. It's never been something I've done, because how do I know how many treatments they need? I don't know. Until I start with somebody. If they're very young, they could move faster. If they're very old, it could take time. If they've got emotional baggage, it can take longer. I don't know till I start with them. I do say to everybody, but I say to them, every one of my clients, I'll say when they first start, if you don't find some smidgen of change within a month, go somewhere else. This is not for you. I'm not saying they have complete recovery, but 1 month of working with them, they should have some change. And they go, okay, because I mean it. There are some things that aren't for people. And if they don't feel a change in a month, really, they need to be going to somebody else. Set up a protocol for them. Let them know, like I did with the other lady, look, this is not working once a week. We need to do twice a week to hit the body hard. It doesn't keep getting a memory back. And then let's see. And my comment to all my clients is, my aim is not to see you anymore. And of course they go, oh, I said, well, we can see each other for, for water or whatever, but my aim is not to have you coming here every single week. That's my aim. So, also with keeping the clients, having beginning specials. Again, I put it in there because some people work with it and some people can work well with it. It's not something I found of benefit for me. I did try that. I tried reducing the first one, or you buy this, or, get this with this. I do have specials, but for Mother's Day, I have specials for Valentine's Day and Christmas. What I do for Valentine's particularly, because I'm also trained in aesthetics, I will do a female aesthetics treatment. So I put a package together where they can have half an hour aesthetics, and I might have half-hour reflexology, and they might get one of my oils or something, and I put that together as a package. So, but I only do that very special, like I said, Valentine's, Mother's Day, and Christmas. I don't do a Father's Day, by the way. I don't have as many men. I have a lot of women clients. Rebook them before they leave. Don't let people leave your room with, I will call you. They forget, they get going, they don't think about it, they get busy. I book. Okay, so I need to see you next week. Which day is suitable for you? When do you have availability? I have Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. Which one suits you? I don't say, when do you think? This is what I have. I need to see you next week. Which day suits you? Put them in the book. Okay? Follow up the next day. I always, with all my new clients, I always follow up the next day. I always ring them. Hi, I want to see how you're going. Oh, you know, I had more pain. Yeah, that's a healing crisis. That will move tomorrow. This is how it will do. Follow up. I'm taking care of their recovery. I'm in charge of this recovery. So I'm showing my compassion for them. Okay, that's lovely. If you have any further questions, contact me. Otherwise, I see you next week at your appointment. All right. Every appointment, the day before, I contact all my clients. I have a little thing in my phone going, hi, Julie, just remind you of an appointment tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Please respond with yes, if that's still suitable. Peter Zaffa Film Therapy Clinic. And they send yes back or no. If it's a no, okay, do you want to rebook another time? I don't leave it there. Because as we all know, when we're dealing with people who are busy and unwell, they do not always make themselves a priority, and they always think they're going to fit it in, but they don't. I'm taking charge of their recovery. Also, with the future appointments, what I do is some people will say, you know, I'm going away for a holiday, or I'll be away for 3 weeks, or I've got, you know, I'm going traveling, or I'm going to hospital to have an operation, or whatever. You know, my children are visiting. I will go, okay, that's fine. What I'll do is I will make an appointment for when you come back. What's the date you're coming back? And they'll say 10th. Okay, I'll make an appointment for the 12th. And if it's not suitable, let me know, but it's there for you because you may need it when you get back. Fine, that's it. They've got a future appointment. It's now in the book. It's there. Surprising how many people will say, great, I really will need it by that time. Keep controlling their recovery. Keep controlling their appointments. Do not let them choose. Take charge. Okay? Keeping connected. This I find very, 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 very good. Particularly the birthdays. Every time a person does a filing area, I do a birthday into my calendar, and as soon as the birthday comes up, they get a birthday wish, you know, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. It's a little thing on my phone, wishing you a happy birthday from Peter Zaffa Film Therapy Clinic. You know, presents and flowers and all types of little things go out to them, just in my phone. That I have from clients that were 6 years ago. Now, I had a lady the other day that contacted me. She said, I've just been thinking about you. Thank you for the birthday wish. I need to make an appointment. It just keeps you in their thoughts, and again shows them that you care. You know, that they're there. A lot of people that are sick don't have the support. The lady that had the pain, she was on my bed one day, and she said to me, Peter, do you know you're the only person in my life that actually touches me? I have that said a lot. I have an old lady. She is 83, amazing. Her daughter was mentally disturbed, and daughter didn't like her in the house after 7 in the morning. So I said to her, she had to be out by 7 and come back at 5. This is an 83-year-old woman. So I organised for her. I rang up U3A, Noosa, organised a film day for her so she could go there. I said, can you do buses? And she said, yes. I said, come down here and sit with us in the waiting room, watch some of our movies, talk to my clients. So she did that. You know, it's bringing this community of care back to us, that they're not just visiting me, that I actually do care about them. Birthdays are one way of showing it. If people are traveling, I put it in. You're going away on the 15th of October, it'll be there. In the morning, I'll go, have a wonderful trip, see you when you get back. Always. When are you coming back? I'm coming back on the 4th of December. Hi, I hope you had a great trip. See you soon. Constantly recording and calling into them. Same with life events. You know, if they've had a death or they've got to go to hospital, or they're going to hospital, I'll say, you know, love and thoughts for you today with your operation. That constant reminder. The newsletter is something I do once a month. I actually, not everybody needs to do a newsletter. I'm a little bit of a frustrated writer, so I always put my own poem in it. So, you know, I'm forced people to read it. And then I keep it simple. It's simply one page. It has a column saying what's going on, training's coming up, whatever. One page. The last one was about Scenar, what it does, why it does it. I was also doing This Is Your Life vitamins. I was doing This Is Your Life vitamin B. This is your life vitamin D. And I just do a little paragraph, not a lot, just something again to keep people coming back to me, keeping me and Coolum Therapy Clinic in their mind. Very, very important for this. Okay, I love him, isn't he gorgeous? Professional boundaries are something that we all have to learn, and not a lot of us have them at the start. It's because we're building up our own professionalism, we're also building up our own self-esteem. The more we work, the more we have a success, the more we feel better about ourselves. But when we don't have success, when somebody walks away from us and they go, no, it didn't work, or it hasn't made a change, or, I won't be coming back. And it happens. It happens, more regularly for all of us than probably a lot of us say, but it's happened to me lots of times. And I used to take it on all the time. What did I do wrong? How could I have treated them differently? Would another person have been better? Did I say something that wasn't right? Just all these things. And I came to a conclusion after many years that basically the people aren't ready. It's not, yes, I try to keep learning, and I do reflect back on myself and think those things still. I still think, could I have done it differently? Could I have approached it differently? Was there something that I didn't treat correctly that could have made a difference? Did he not feel different when he went, or her? But I also understand that everybody has a time in their life that is ready for repair, everybody. And some people come into our lives and they're just not ready. Got nothing to do with us. It's got to do with them. If I review myself and say I really did everything I could do at that time, then I walk away and I try not to take it on now. We're also the quiet times. We are all going to have quiet times. I don't know how many times my family, my friends, they say, oh, Peter, every time you have a quiet week, you say the same thing. Oh, my God, it's quiet. That's it. My business is collapsing. And they said, then all of a sudden everybody comes. I've now started using those quiet times to catch up, to do research. If I have a client that says that they've got a certain parasite or a disease or a certain condition, I will start researching it further, finding out where it could be stemming from, what it could be leading to, what areas I could be treating that I didn't think about. Like I have a Parkinson's client. And Parkinson's, a lot of people go to the head. So if you're a scanner therapist, you'd be doing, penetrating monads, all these type of things. The fact is that when I started doing research on Parkinson's disease, I found that dopamine, one of the major things with Parkinson's, actually is produced widely in the stomach. This is the latest research. So now I go to the stomach. Okay, so these are the use to do that research on my clients. And what I find is when I'm doing research, all of a sudden something will come up and I go, that'll mix with, John, or this could mix with Mary, or yeah, that's very appropriate to Sue. So when I'm doing my research, sometimes quite openly, specific things will come through that will relate to a specific client. And I think that's what we need to do. Also have some time for ourselves. Go and walk the beach, go and ground ourselves, do a treatment for ourselves. These things are when we need to also look after us. Stay current. Now, some of us, when we're working very quickly, it's hard to read a book, to catch up on information. And books are also archaic by the time they're printed. So we either need to get to research documents or get to conferences and seminars. So they're a very, very important, potent area for you, is to keep yourself upgraded all the time. The fastest way to keep current and keep upgraded is things like seminars, conferences, get together, things like this, webinars. I do them all the time. If I can get one bit of information or two bits of information out of a seminar or webinar or something I've done, it's been worthwhile. And I will, I'll sit in on something for a while, and if it's not what I want, I leave. If it's a series of things and I like them, I'll watch them. Take your time, and also take your holidays. Do not be available all the time. You have to have a break. You have to renew your own energy. When you're working with people, even in any business, you are giving yourself out. Even I've done years and years of counseling with psychology and things like that, and still I can be at times drained by somebody. So I don't know if any of you have ever been working on somebody. It's only happened to me probably 4 or 5 times in the whole time I've worked. But all of a sudden you can start to feel sick, or you start to feel a headache come. You start to take on their energy. And I will actually go out of the clinic after I finish them and walk out in the grass and just reground myself. So it happens to us all, and we really need to have our breaks. Try to have your breaks with a conference involved, and you can have tax dodge as well. So that works well. The last thing is, don't limit yourself. Think as big as you can. When I was telling you about the goals previously that, you know, my son was telling me to write down, if I had written them down, I would have said, oh, I need 20 people. I'd like to do this. I've gone further than I could have imagined by just allowing myself to just fly as far as I could. Do what I loved, learn about it, and fly. And it's taken me to places that I could never have put down as a goal. So yes, put down what you'd like, put down where you'd like to go, but don't let it limit you, because watch out for where the open doors are. Watch out for where you can step in and help. You know, if there's another practitioner, or, you know, you're with, say, with Scenar, and Scenar wants some help, walk in there and see if you can help in some way, because that can open it up for you too. So think widely and think big, because we are, as energetic medicine, we are the biggest frontier coming in. I was in Germany two years ago working in a clinic in Germany, and it's like going back to the mothership. They have energetic radio stations. They have the energetic medicine, Scenar, these things, they're on national health. It's coming slowly, but it's coming. We are the front line here. People are now looking for something else. I've got people saying, I've tried everything, can you help now? So, and we can. So, like I said, don't limit yourself. Okay, so I'll leave it now, if you like, open to questions. Have we got any questions? That's the newsletter I do, just like that. That's it. And I actually sent one out to a client in September. She sent back it with a message, I've just hurt myself, can you help me? I haven't seen you for 4 years, 2012 she last saw me, and she's come back. That's how just receiving that email can help. So the biggest thing is to keep you in their memory, keep you in their, you know, their records. I have people that ring and go, I'm sick, can you help me? They use me like a doctor. You know, they don't go to their doctors anymore. They come and you'll do, you know, treatments. The biggest thing I could say, if I'm going to say about being a successful business, is to keep in their minds you. Keep you there. A lot of people I know, you do a lot of, you know, you can do a lot of free things. Like a lot of people, we did it when we first went to the university, because I used to work also at the Zap House. We went to the university, we did free sessions up there. We did actually a study there too. We did expos, we did sporting activities. When they had big football things, we went to those. And you know, I never got anything out of them, ever. I have never had a continual client stay with me from that. I have had some expos. I've got 3 clients from an expo I did from 4 years ago. They're still with me. But what I'm saying to you is, don't give away all the free. Just don't give away your time free like that. You can let them know. Don't treat them. Tell them about what you're doing. When we did the Sydney Expo 5 years ago, I was sitting there, you know, doing everybody and treating, couldn't speak by the end of the day because I talked hoarse, and treating everybody, and nobody came. Nobody came back to us. So I found what I do is talk about the science of it, talk about how it functions, where it came from, what it does, and how it can repair, and then give them a card and let them go from there.
Peter?
Yes.
Okay, Sonia here. I've heard that if you do a lot of treatment of Scenar on very similar patients with a similar problem, that how energetically you can take that on. Do you know anything about that?
That's what I was saying previously. You can take on a lot of people's energy. It's quite easy because when you're treating, it's a triangle treatment. It's them, you, and the device. So that's one of the things about your own care. That's what I was saying previously. When I got sick from someone, I've had a headache. I've gone outside, taken my shoes off, and grounded.
Okay.
Is that what you mean? Taking on their energy?
Yes. Yeah. I was thinking more physically, perhaps not. I mean, I'm a social worker. I work with emotional stuff. You know, and you can take that on. You can take on the anxieties. You can take on the depression. Physically.
Oh, okay. If somebody, you mean like if somebody comes in and they're depressed and they're anxious and all those things, that if you're doing all those people all the time, you can take on those aspects. Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes,
Okay.
and physically you can too.
Sorry?
So physically you can too.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. That's why we know that emotionally, physically, we can take on anything. That's where you need to learn how to detach. If people are coming into this business and they haven't learned that, then they that it's a very strong necessity is to learn how to detach, because I deal with a lot of clients that have emotional issues, and you need to talk with them, treat them there, and walk away at the end of the session.
Yeah,
you can't take it with you. So it is yes, I believe you can. Yes, absolutely. No two way about that. You could take it on. You have to learn how not to.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the thing is too, I think it's if you're treating somebody and you write the program down, like what you're doing and what you're doing with them and how you found it, then you put the file away and come back in with it next time. You have to learn to detach once it's completed.
Yeah. No,
I think sorry?
No, I understand how to do it.
It's hard to do. Yeah, it's hard to do. It is hard to do. But it's only practice, that's all. That's the only way you can get there. And sometimes you don't. Yeah. Look, sometimes I've sat there with clients that are doing that and people say to me, I don't think I'd be good as a counsellor because I'd be too involved. And I go, well, I don't understand that. What is wrong if you've got somebody sitting in front of you that is incredibly emotionally upset, has enormous pain? Why wouldn't you feel for them? I've had clients that are crying in a room and I get them up and hug them till they finish sobbing. What is wrong with that? Half of that is our treatment. Our compassion is our treatment. I don't ever want to lose that, ever. But I need to learn how to also, once it's finished, walk away from it so I don't take it with me. And that's what you're talking about, even physically, yes.
Yeah.
Have you had that issue?
Well, I do work with a lot of people who are very depressed, suicidal, constantly, so it's a very pressing sort of low energy that I'm around constantly. But my question really was about whether you can take on people's physical ailments on yourself because you're treating them.
You can take on anything, Sonia. Physical ailments are simply, most physical ailments come from emotional, mental and psychological issues.
Yeah.
So yes, you can. Also, something I've found too is that and this actually will probably be relating to what you're saying. I have clients who, I've got a ballerina that flies up from Sydney to work with me. Whenever she is stressed or upset or she's gone too far, her feet go down. I have a singer, her throat goes down. Okay, so for us, if we're taking on too much, you will find your hands, your arms will start to have issues. Your shoulders will start to ache. You'll take on those things. And to me, I believe very strongly that your body takes those issues on, not simply because they've got them. Yes, it's probably that, but also because that energy is coming in so strongly and you're not dealing with it, that your body is now having to deal with you to stop you to be able to deal with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the way I look at it, and I say this to a lot of my clients, if you don't get this, even as a practitioner, if you keep working 24/7 and never give yourself a break and don't have time for you and don't look after your health, your body will start to take on the signals that will stop you from doing what you're doing. And usually that's your arms, your hands, and your shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
your hands and your shoulders go down, you're not going to be working.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay.
Peter, I've got a question. It's Neil when you're free.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever felt it beneficial to try and meet other practitioners, like say if you're a scanner therapist, then other chiropractors or I don't know, doctors or something, to create referral networks, or do you find that sort of wasted energy? And
No, I don't find it wasted energy. I find them threatened sometimes because they don't understand.
Right.
I've tried. I contacted, when I first started out, I contacted the pain clinics. They said they didn't want to see me. I contacted the doctors at Coolum. They sent me their worst of their worst, and they changed, but they didn't send me any more.
Right.
Okay, I found that over and over. This lady with the pain, I contacted Nambour Pain Clinic and said, look, you know, so-and-so said I could use her name. You know, would you be interested? I can come and work with some people. She said to me, you know, we only use, what she said, we only used researched applications like yoga, meditation. I said to her, okay, I said, Scenar is actually TGA approved. We are approved for bursitis, musculoskeletal pain. We are approved for these. We have research. I can send you 1,000 papers if you like them. And she said, no, we'll leave it. Because, Tennille, you know, we will take their business from them.
Okay, yeah.
We will take their business from them, and that's all there is about it. I mean, I have tried with a lot of them. Now I just, I don't. I have a physiotherapist who's one of my clients, and he has 2 Scanners, and I've trained him in them, and he actually uses them in rehab. But, you know, they just, and yet I don't understand it, because physiotherapists actually learn about biofeedback machines.
Yeah.
You know, we're actually looking at that at the moment. I will be contacting the universities and the colleges, because we're going to see if we can get into them and even do a one-day course or a week course on biofeedback machines and teach them about it.
Yeah,
so,
good.
Yeah, we're trying to see if we can upgrade the professional standard of Scenar and also introduce it into a more academic line. That's why the credentials are now changing. You know, to be a professional Scenar therapist, you must have level 3. They're actually altering all this now. That's why I've just had people hit me before Christmas. Would you please do a level 3, because we have to have it before Christmas. Otherwise, we can't call ourselves professional Scenar therapists anymore. So. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think we do need to have the full range of skills. So it is happening, Tennille. Getting back to your question, yes, I have tried.
Yeah.
I have one client who went to a chiropractor who used Scenar on them, and they were worse than before. And I just said to her, could you let me know who the person was, and I'll talk to him nicely and just say, look, you know, where have you been trained at? Would you like some extra assistance? Would you like some support? Because what happens is people will contact me and they'll say, look, I heard that you can help with pain. Yes, I work specifically with Scenar. Oh, no, I've had that. Doesn't work. I go, okay. Who have you been to? What were the qualifications? What device were they using? Because all of those things make a difference. Not who, but what their device and their qualifications. I'm not saying that a level 1 person can't make a change, because you can. You can make a major change. But you need to be fully qualified if you're dealing with more advanced clients.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's all right. Any other questions?
Just one, Angelina.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, what about in the situation, I've had this happen where a client, she had fibromyalgia, and she had good results with the first part of the treatment I gave her, and then when I was sort of winding up the treatment, she kept saying, oh, look, can you treat here, can you treat there, can you treat everywhere else? And I was exhausted by the end of it, and I didn't have the heart to stop, and I thought, you know, what can you say on a professional level to wind up a treatment, you know, when someone wants you to just keep going?
Very good question, Angelina. Very good question. It's something when you first start, it's very hard because you keep on following them. What I always say I have actually fibromyalgia, she does exactly the same thing. This point still hurting that, and I'll just simply say yes, but you've had change. That's what I say to her. You've had change. Yes. Okay, we need to let the body make its change now. If I keep treating, you'll have a healing crisis.
Okay, thank
And
you.
stop. That's what I say. Simply that. I had a lady today, she came and she said to me, oh, here's my neck's hurting here and there, so you need to treat there and there. I said, really, is that where I need to treat? I said, you're now telling me where I need to treat.
Yeah.
And she laughed. But the thing is, that's where we start taking care of, that we take charge, Angelina. But I say that. I just simply say, have you had change? Yes, we need to stop there, because if I continue, you'll have a healing crisis.
Okay.
And you will find, particularly with fibromyalgia, because they have all their points, keep working on the point areas with them. Work on rotation on those areas, or even using IR doses on those areas. You will find there will be one set of points that creates a change in the body. There's one set somewhere. Find the set and you change.
Okay.
Okay, my lady, it's behind her shoulders. At the moment I hit there, the whole headache goes. Or now it's changed and it's now in the wings area. It's right in the neck area through here. The moment I hit it, her whole body drops. Okay, but they have to be told, because they love the feeling of it, and you're making a change for her. She wants you to keep going, but you cannot treat a whole body, because then she's going to end up with a headache tomorrow. She's going to end up with pain tomorrow. She's going to have more issues. So just simply say to her, yeah, you've had change. If I continue, you'll have a healing crisis. We need to let the body relax. You've done so well, and we'll see you next week. Does that answer that for you?
Very much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Peter, it's Neil here. I've got another question.
Sure.
Tell me if this is not specific to this webinar, though. Say if you've got a client that's been going well and you really feel that they would benefit from having their own personal device, like, do you have a particular way, because sometimes I worry about people's money, so do you have a particular way you can sort of make them feel confident that they really need one and help to basically make the sale, but for their own benefit?
Tia, Neil, do you believe they need it?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Okay, then they need it. That's it. That's what I do. I don't look. I had one when I was working in the clinic. I had one of my practitioners. She said to me, "Look, these people want to get a scanner device, okay, and they can't afford the Sport D. They can only get the beginners." I said, "The beginners is no good for them. It's got one frequency. It can't be a functional thing. Oh, they don't have the money. Do you mind if I contact them?" I rang them and I said to them, "Look, could you come down? Let me show you why I'm suggesting this. It's not about the money, it's about the quality of it, and that you can use it properly." And they came down, I sat with him and her for about a half an hour, showed them the visual display unit, why I suggest this, why it's easier for them. They bought it. They bought it. And they bought I also have a policy, nobody buys a device without a two-way lead and a set of pads. How the hell are they supposed to use a device without that? What, hold the thing on them all the time? So that became standard. I say to people, you need this. Okay, now you can either pay it off, give me, $200 a month or whatever, and when you pay it off, you've got your device. Or,
so you give them that option, yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't give them the device. I'll say to them, put the money away and do it that way, and when you've got it, you can have it. Or if they're a very, very good client, Neil, I mean, see, I've got 5 professional devices and 3 home devices myself. See, so if they're very good, I'll say, you can pay it off. This is how you'll do it. Take my device and use it for the moment, and once you pay it off, you can then transfer to the other.
Okay, thanks. That's really helpful.
Yeah, I don't give them options. I don't make it first up. Because, but I do say, if somebody, like I had a lady that I was treating, she was going over, but she lives in Thailand. I said, you need to take this over with you. You can't possibly function with this, what you're going through, without this device. And that's it. End of discussion. They find it, Tennille. You'd be surprised how they can find the money when they need it.
Yeah.
They can, believe me. I have one lady, she's about to train, and she just bought a bio skinner, and she doesn't even want to work in the business.
Yeah.
But she thinks it'll give her a better, and I actually suggested not to. I said I thought she needed one a little bit less complicated, but no, she wanted it, and she's having a little bit of trouble with it, but she'll get it. But they find it. And the other thing I do too is attachments. I do a lot of attachments, you know. You need this. You need, if they're having any kind of menstrual issues or gynecological issues, you need a probe. You need a probe. That's what you need. There's no two way about it. You need a probe.
Yeah.
So, and I tell them because I really believe it. So if I believe it, then they need to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got to get away from worrying about them not having the money.
Yeah.
People find they find the money for the priority, believe me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Great. Thanks.
That's okay. If you have any further queries and you just want to get in contact me, my email is just Peta, P-E-T-A, @coolumtherapyclinic.com.au.
Great.
So if you want to do that, you're welcome to send me any messages or questions if you have them later. If you need any support when you're working, I'm happy to support you. If you have clients that you don't know where to go from after the first treatment or 2 treatments, or sometimes too, you'll find that when you're treating somebody, and this is my next seminar, but when you're treating them, they can have very fast recovery and then it slows. Okay, so sometimes you need to be pushing or changing. So if you have any queries, just send them to me. Really, I honestly don't mind.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you,
problem.
Peta.
Any question at all, it's just Peta, P-E-T-A, @coolumtherapyclinic.com.au.
Okay.
Okay.
Lovely.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you very much
Peta.
for listening. I hope you got something out of that for yourselves.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well done.